What's going on is Anton from antondaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. I just got done filling out my official ballot for the election. Now, when I say for the election, I know that the big thing is the national election as far as Kamala Harris and Tim Walz versus JD Vance and Donald Trump. But I want to have a conversation with y'all for a second because yesterday I was out and about. And I was playing poker with the fellas, as far as like in a local community or whatever, because I haven't done it probably in over 6 to 8 months or something like that. So I just kind of kicked it for a couple hours just to see what was happening out here in these streets, very, very locally out here in the suburbs. And one person, right, because it's a mixture of people, to be honest with you. And it was me and a black guy, and it was 9 other people that was there. A couple different tables, or 9 other people that was involved in a conversation. And the other black guy that was there besides myself, of course, we started getting into the election because we seen a bunch of ads that popped up on the TV, especially watching the Michigan game and watching the Tennessee-Alabama game, right? And the other guy was like, man, I'm not voting, man. I ain't voting. It don't even matter, man. I ain't even going to do no research or whatever. And, of course, I had to drill down and drill into him because I wanted him to understand how important this is. Now, I've had this absentee ballot for a while, but I wanted to make sure, it took me about a week to fill it out. And I wanted to make sure that everything that I voted for, that I researched, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I need to explain to you guys why voting matters, not just for the national election, and people use that as a cop-out. They use that to try to justify the fact that they lazy, that they ignorant. But then these will be the main people that's complaining about who the sheriff is in their county, who the judges are that determine their fate. They'll be complaining about whether or not their schools are underfunded, right? So let me give you an example. Of course, you got the national election, and I filled that out or whatever. And then you have because you can go straight party ticket, right? So you can just go straight Republican or straight Democrat or straight Libertarian. Green Party, so on and so forth, right? And then, of course, you can hand select each individual one. Now, you need to read your instructions on how to fill out your ballot. And it's unfortunate that I have to do this because I can get way more views talking about things that's entertaining, but I'm going to make the sacrifice for y'all because I need y'all to understand. And I got to do my part on educating you to be an informed voter, not just voting, right? You should have been doing your research months and months ahead of time before you ever even got this ballot. Because you should have voted in a primary also. But and then you can hand select each individual one. So you don't have to just go down ballot. I didn't just go down ballot, right? I voted on each individual selection. So let me read some of this to you, right? You got congressional U.S. senator. That's important. You also have representative in Congress, and it tells you your specific district. So when y'all sit here and say, well, Congress are the ones that you determine Congress members too. Representative in the state legislature, you got the state boards, and the state boards are for specific things. So I'll give you an example. The regent for the University of Michigan, you got to pick 2 of those. And this is just in my state, right? This is my county, my state in Michigan, and my city. Your city, your county, all of these things matter, all right? The regent for the University of Michigan, you got the trustee for Michigan State. So these are your major colleges. Michigan, Michigan State, Wayne State University. These are your major colleges. These are the people that are going to be on the board, or the regents or the governors of that specific board that help determine the pathway for that particular school. It's important. It's incredibly important. And you need to research the people that are on these ballots. Governor of Wayne State University, county executive, okay? So they are the people that is going to be at the forefront of the tax auctions, how it is that people can get relief, all of that, right? Sheriff, goes without saying. Prosecuting attorney, all right? County executive, I said that one already. Clerk and register of deeds. Treasurer. Water resources commissioner, very important. And we don't talk about that. County commissioner of this particular district. Township supervisor. The clerk. Treasurer, trustee, and then it goes into a nonpartisan section, right? So then you got Justice of the Supreme Court, 8-year term, You got to vote for one person. I see a man and a woman on here. I'm not going to say their names because I don't need y'all to know where I'm living at and all of that. But you need to do your research on each individual candidate, and that takes time. Justice of the Supreme Court incumbent position term ending 1/1/2029. Justice of the Court of Appeals second. Well, I ain't gonna say that. It goes on to say Justice of the Court of Appeals non-incumbent position. Judge of the Circuit Court. Judge of the Circuit Court. Judge of the Probate Court. Board of Trustees for the Community College. Library board member of your schools. So then it goes into the specific schools of the district that you live in and who's going to basically be on that board. Then it goes into proposal selection and then the local school district. So I'll share with you the proposal selection. This is talking about the parks and the recreational facilities and what millages. The millages are how they help fund these places by basically charging or allowing for you to determine how much more you want to pay in property taxes to help fund the things that beautify, gives people options as far as using recreational facilities, the parks, and all of that stuff. So you determine what happens in your county, in your city, and in your state. And then it goes into the millages for the local schools. If you want to put additional resources via your property taxes, if you're a homeowner, additional resources into the local schools, the high schools, the middle schools, the elementary schools. If you want to pay extra monies or you want to add a millage or increase the millage that's already there in order for the schools to continue to be funded, or you want better facilities or all of this stuff. And it explains it in detail. This proposal will restore, and extend the authority of the school district, which expires with the 2025 tax levy, to levy X amount for general school district operating purposes on taxable property in the school district to the extent that such property is not exempt from such a levy, restricted on the principal residences, owner occupied homes to no more than X amount of mills, and protect against the impact of future Headley rollbacks of up to X amount of mills. And it says the amount of mills. This authorization would allow the school district to continue to levy the statutory limit of however many mills on non-homestead property, principal industrial and commercial real estate property, and residential rental property, and to continue to levy on principal residence property, owner-occupied homes, only that portion of the mills necessary to allow the school district to receive full revenue per pupil foundation allowance permitted by the state. The school district only levy X amount on personal residences in 2024. Shall the limitation on the amount of taxes which may be imposed on taxable property in X school district in this county of Michigan be increased to the amount of X amount of mills, with X amount of mills being the maximum allowed levy. Then it tells you how much per 1,000 taxable. So for every $1,000 you get taxed, you pay that amount per, it tells you exactly how many the mills are and what the mills mean. To the extent the property is not statutorily exempt, of which not more than X amount being imposed, principal residences, so on and so on and so forth. And so it basically, even if you don't have kids, if you do have kids or whatever, it's basically breaking down to you exactly how it is that your money is going to be spent and why you need to participate in a general election, why you need to do your research. And so people need to be informed voters. It's not enough to just use the marketing material. It's not enough that you just look at the ads. It's not enough that you just pay attention to what's going on in the national level. Your schools being funded is going to be the determining factor for how you vote, both on a local level as far as the actual school district that your kids are going to go to, because you're paying taxes to go to that school. You're paying taxes for the kids in your area to be educated, even if you don't have kids. Your community colleges, what type of funding do they receive, which then impact how much you're going to pay per credit hour versus what you would pay at a major university. What happens at the major universities in your area, right? All of these things, the boards, the regents, the governors, and then it goes into, Congress and treasurers and county clerks and all of that stuff. And you don't even know who these people are. You don't know who the sheriff is. You don't know who your judges are. You don't know who these people that's going to be controlling funding or going to be advocating for funding for your state or your district. And so we only look at the national election and we stupid, we ignorant. We say, well, it don't matter anyway. No, it matters. It absolutely matters who's going to be your township supervisor, who's going to be your mayor, who's going to be the trustees, who's going to be the city council members. And so I think it's lazy and it's ignorant. And it shows me how ignorant a person is, or how voluntarily ignorant, which we just don't say stupid and dumb, that a person is when they openly say something to me like, Anton, it really doesn't matter who you vote for, or I'm not voting or whatever. No, you just lazy, bro. You lazy. So y'all need to be doing y'all research way before y'all go to the polls, so that you can then make informed decisions, educated decisions on who's going to be representing you. That way you're not complaining about who the person is that's spending the money that you're paying your taxes for. You don't get a Tiffany Henyard. You don't get a Eric Adams. You don't get a Brandon Johnson. You don't get a Karen Bass. You don't get all of these people that's based Andre Dickens. You don't get these people and the treasurers and the judges and the Congress members. You don't get these people that's working against your best interest because you may be more conservative. And so your conservative values need to be represented in how it is that you want your tax dollars to be spent, or if we need to be lowering taxes, or if they're mismanaging how it is that we have already given them resources. Educate yourself and stop being ignorant and stop saying stupid stuff. And do your research on all of the things and all of the proposals and all of the candidates that you have going on here. That way you're not looking stupid 2 or 3 years from now and we talking about what happened the last 3.5 years or why you got this person in office. I love you. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, Teach Hanley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. And come and kick it with me in person. All of those details is in the description. Also, use discount code Anton. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you later. Peace.